They say every neighborhood has secrets. Behind white fences and smiling family portraits, not everything is as perfect as it looks. And in the summer of 2010, one family secret would shock an entire town and leave the world questioning how far control can push a child. This is the story of Rachel Johnson, the daughter who walked into a police station with blood on her hands. The Johnsons were the family everyone admired. Michael, the father, was a respected school principal. Sarah, the mother, was known for her charity work and kindness. And then there was Rachel, just 16 years old, soft-spoken, shy, and deeply religious. Neighbors saw them as perfect, a family that prayed together, volunteered together, smiled in every holiday card. But inside their home, perfection came with a price. Rachel wasn't allowed to choose her own clothes. Her friends had to be approved. Even the music she listened to was controlled. Her parents believed they were protecting her, but Rachel felt like she was living in a cage. Then came the turning point. Rachel met a boy. He wasn't what her parents wanted, older, rebellious, and the exact opposite of the life they had planned for their daughter. When her parents found out, they panicked. They grounded her, took her phone, and cut off every form of communication. To them, they were saving their daughter. To Rachel, they were taking away the only piece of freedom she had ever tasted. And with every locked door, every lecture, and every threat to send her away to a boarding school, her anger grew darker. On a quiet night, neighbors later recalled hearing a scream echo from the Johnson home. But no one called the police. It was a small town, and no one suspected what was about to happen. Hours later, Rachel walked into the local police station. She was pale, trembling, and covered in blood. Her voice shook as she whispered, "I killed my parents." The officers looked at her in disbelief. She was just a child, polite, timid, the kind of girl who apologized if she bumped into you. Surely she couldn't mean it. But when officers entered the Johnson house, they found the truth. Michael and Sarah Johnson were dead in their bed, shot while they slept. The news spread like wildfire. The town couldn't comprehend it. How could this quiet, well-behaved girl commit something so unthinkable? At first, detectives suspected the boyfriend. Maybe he had manipulated her. Maybe he had done it himself. But Rachel confessed again and again. It was her. She had pulled the trigger. Still, the question remained, why? The answer came out slowly. Rachel said her parents had turned her life into a prison. No freedom, no choices, no love, unless it was on their terms. She said she was suffocating. The boyfriend wasn't the real reason. He was just a spark that lit the fire. In her mind, killing her parents wasn't an act of evil. It was escape. The trial was heartbreaking. On one side sat relatives and townspeople who saw Rachel as a murderer, who betrayed the very people who raised her. They described her as cold, calculating, and ungrateful. On the other side, psychologists and advocates painted a different picture. They described a teenager who had been emotionally trapped, stripped of independence, and pushed past her breaking point. In the courtroom, Rachel sat silent, often staring at the floor. No tears, no anger, no outbursts, just silence. Was she remorseless, or was she numb from what she had done? When the verdict was read, the air in the courtroom grew heavy. Rachel Johnson was sentenced to life in prison. She was only 16. Some saw it as justice. Others saw it as another tragedy, that a child who felt powerless ended up throwing away her future in the most irreversible way possible. And maybe that's what makes this story so haunting. It isn't just about murder. It's about control, desperation, and choices that can never be undone. The Johnson family looked perfect from the outside, but behind their walls, pressure and silence were building like cracks in glass, until one night it shattered. Rachel once said in an interview years later, "I thought killing them would give me freedom, but all it gave me was another prison." We may never truly understand why a daughter turned against the people who raised her, but one thing is clear. Behind every smiling family photo, there may be a story no one dares to tell. This was the story of the silent daughter.